everyone, I'm Heather Poduska, star maker for entrepreneurs who want to unlock their potential, command any stage, and make blockbuster profits. Welcome to Thrive, the show where I bring you tips, resources, and people to help you create a brand that makes you happy and profitable. Here we go.
Hi everyone, I'm Heather Poduska, founder of the Brand Star Academy, where I teach entrepreneurs how to be powerful, profitable speakers and create their own celebrity personal brands. Welcome to this episode of Thrive, How to Mingle to Millions with my special guest, Cami Baker. Cami Baker is an international speaker. She is fiercely entrepreneurial and the author of the book, Mingle to Millions, the art and science of building business relationships and mastering referrals. Cami is an expert at networking. She is the founder and the creator of the WorldWide NetWeb, which is a revolutionary system of networking to build real relationships. And on this episode, Cami shares her expertise on how to show up as someone people want to book as a speaker, to book to get on television, and how to network in a way that really cultivates sharing and growing businesses together without coming across as a slimy, sleazy pusher of your content and business. It was a fascinating conversation, and Cami knows her stuff. She has spoken to over 30,000 people, given over 1,000 presentations. So we dig into this. How do you show up as someone that gets booked? She answers the question, what is the number one thing that you need to do to get booked on stages and on television? We also talk about what is the WorldWide NetWeb? What does new networking look like in this age of relationship building? She talks about why you want to be more like a spider instead of some other furry animals, and what that means, what it means to be a spider, and the results and benefits of operating that way when you're networking. We also talk about one of Cami's very, very dear to her heart causes, which is cause marketing. Cause marketing is when you market based on your charitable giving and building a charitable branch of your business that shows you as a leader in your community, as someone with heart, and also using that in a strategic, authentic way with integrity of building your brand and your business. So it was a great conversation. Cami had so much valuable insights to give and information to give. You are going to learn so much from this interview. And she knows her stuff. She's just like a rock star herself. So I know you're going to love it. You're going to learn so much from this episode. And also, speaking of speaking and getting booked on bigger and better stages, I want you to get booked on bigger and better stages. And part of that is knowing how to nail your performances, knowing how to show up as the brand with a clear message, knowing how to tell your story in a way to engage your audience, and knowing how to close the sale from the stage with your offer without getting out of alignment with your integrity and turning off your audience as coming across as a pushy salesperson. If you want to learn how to do that, I have something you're going to be interested in. At the end of April, I'll be holding my Stage Ready Masterclass here in Boston. It's a live event in a real theater, a 2-day event where I'm going to be coaching a small group of highly driven entrepreneurs on the stage on how to use their body, how to tell their story, how to gesture, how to stay in your power, how to exude magnetism, and how to close the room because you're there to get credit cards. So we're going to be doing that in this really supportive, fun atmosphere. And it comes with a special bonus if you sign up before the early bird deadline. So if that is something you want to do to grow your business, to increase your revenue by thousands and shorten the funnel from the stage to the client, check it out. I'll be posting the link in the show comments. Okay, let's get on to the show. You're going to love Cami, and see you on the other side. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, I'm Heather Poduska, founder of the Brand Star Academy, where I teach entrepreneurs how to be powerful, profitable speakers and create their own celebrity personal brands. Welcome to Thrive, the show where I bring you tips, resources, and people to help you create a more abundant life and business. You're in for high-value content coming to you from industry leaders who are growing their business, making an impact, and rocking their brands. Today, my special guest is Cami Baker. Cami Baker is an international speaker, fiercely entrepreneurial, is an HGTV House Hunters veteran, and the founder of the WorldWide NetWeb. She's also the author of her newest book, Mingle to Millions, the art and science of building business relationships and mastering referrals. Cami's worked with companies such as Berkshire Hathaway, Ronald McDonald, and hundreds of other groups assisting their people in the art and science of building resources, relationships, and revenues that rock. She's given over 1,000 presentations to audiences of over 30,000 people and was even featured as a judge on NBC's Celebrity Apprentice. And now she graces us here on Thrive with her presence. Welcome, Cami.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you for having me.
Wow, that is such an amazing resume.
Thank you.
Yeah, how did you become such a rock star?
Well, you know what? It's about positioning. It's about positioning and posturing and packaging the product, which is you. Right. So you're helping people get on stages and speak too. This is part of it. It's about positioning and wording things exactly the way that you want people to receive you as, yes?
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking before, you are your brand.
Yes.
You are your own best representation.
You are, and you know, everybody has a different representation of what marketing is. What does marketing mean to them? Mm-hmm. You know, some people want to spend a lot of money on internet or flyers or whatever that is, but marketing truly is, how are you showing up in the world? Who are you being when you meet people, whether it's a text or an email or a face-to-face interaction at a networking event, at the kids' baseball game. How are you showing up?
So how are you showing up? Who is Cami Baker? How do you want people to perceive you?
I want people to really understand when they meet me that to feel comfortable in your own skin, mm-hmm. to own your own space, and to be the event, whether it's being on the stage or in the audience or anywhere that you are. Own your space, own your power, and just let people see you as the expert that you want them to see you as.
I love what you just said, be the event.
I love that you love be the event.
Be the event, yeah.
I've been saying that for about 3 years, and some people, they don't get it, like, what does that mean? And to me, it just means, it's so obvious. Be the event, like wherever you go, you walk in that room, you want people thinking, oh, who's she? I don't know what she does, but I want to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and for me, I like to be the event by being on the stage. Mm-hmm. Because if we're going to spend time in a networking event or anywhere in life, I like to say in my book, networking wastes time because it's random activity. You show up late, you leave early, you fill out some cards, you think somebody's going to call you, they're not calling you. Netwebbing that I talk about leverages time through planned strategy.
So say a little bit more. What is netwebbing?
Well, netwebbing is a term that I came up with because, first of all, people would say, well, I don't need to know how to network. I do all my business online. You know, but netwebbing, so think about this analogy. Any networking event we go to, there are people that are throwing cards out. You've met them. Hey, here's my card, here's my card, here's my card. They are spraying and praying that someone will call them, and what they're doing is they're repelling. Mm-hmm. They're skunkish. Mm-hmm. They're spraying and praying and skunks. Or there are people that are gathering cards, gathering them up, putting them in their pocket. They got stacks of cards on the desk, in the car. They're squirreling. Mm-hmm. There's people that are sharking, dun, 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 dun. Will you join my business? Will you try my product? Will you sign my contract?
I don't know, I've got the heebie-jeebies,
right?
Just like you're acting that, I'm like, ugh.
Well, because you've been there and you know.
Yeah.
Everybody watching this has seen the squirrel, the shark, the skunk. Mm-hmm. They've seen that. The shark is looking around the room waiting for the next best thing while you're talking. So if we don't want to be any, and look, I've been all of them in the same night, you know. What we want to be is the spider.
So what's the spider?
Spider, think of her as she is in the tree with the branches. She puts a connection and a connection and a connection. And over time, those connections are crossing. And then when the spider has her web, what does she do? She sits back and she waits for that which she wants to come to her. Mm-hmm. So as we are creating all these connections, being on TV, introducing this person to that person, referring someone, doing business, giving a great service and being referred around. We are creating this web so that there comes a point where all we do is wait for that which we want to come to us. The referrals come, the introductions, the invite to be on TV, et cetera, et cetera. So netwebbing is about creating that web of connection so that we have the resources and the relationships that lead to the revenue that rock.
I love that. And don't you think that spraying and praying is really birthed out of insecurity?
Well, insecurity and just a lack of knowledge. It's from a place of ignorance, and I say that respectfully. I don't know how to fly an airplane. I'm ignorant about that. That doesn't make me stupid. I just never learned. People never learned how to network. We weren't taught how to network. We can make friends. We have lovers, we have family that we talk to, but when it comes to the whole business aspect, we get icky.
Why? Why do we get icky? I wonder this because, if you're in business, and I think this is something especially women struggle with, it's almost like you apologize for being in business and for wanting to make money. It's like, well, if you didn't want to make money, you should run a charity.
Thank you. Thank you. I think they feel icky because there's these preconceived notions of what's your ulterior motive, or I've got to sell, or I've got to prove myself, or, it's ego. It's ego is what it is. And when we are feeling icky and weird, it's because we're so focused on what people are thinking about us. We're focused on the other, what are they thinking about us? When we can get our place in that place of how can I be a contribution? How can I walk into this situation? And listen, networking is not just a place we go or something we put on our schedule. We're doing it right now. We're always networking, netwebbing, as I like to call it, because we are creating those connections. So when we can just focus on how can I be a contribution? How can I be in awe? Like, I remember when I came up with this term, a couple years ago, I was going to a networking event in Boston, and I've been networking for years. I've been to thousands of them. If there's a business card and a boring 30-second elevator pitch, I've been there. So I'm getting ready for this event, and here I am teaching people how to not do this. I'm thinking, oh God, I got to go to one of those networking events, and do I really want to go? And I could feel myself getting into that place that most people get into of, oh, I don't want to go. We show up late. We get there. We either hide in the corner or we spray our, all right, I gave out 30 cards. I'm done.
Yeah.
Or I've got 20 cards, and then we go home or whatever. And I got to thinking, wait a minute. I teach this. I do this every day. Everybody does this every day. Why not make it fun? Why not get myself in a place of, I wonder who I'll meet. Who am I going to play with tonight? I just got goosebumps thinking about that. Who am I going to play with? Who am I going to meet? What are we going to talk about? Are they a resource? Are they a relationship? Is she going to be my good friend? Are we going to go to the movies? Are we going to have sleepovers? Are we going to, well, hey, go to a conference. Go to a conference and stay with a couple of women in a room and have a sleepover. It's great, because you're talking business the whole time, right? So what am I going to receive here? Not in a business stance like how many leads. We got to stop looking for leads and plant our seeds.
I love that. So what is your opinion? I mean, I think I know, but what is your opinion about the elevator pitch? I mean, people say, what do you do? Like, how do you talk, if you're not doing an elevator pitch, how do you talk about what you do in a way that communicates your value and your personality?
This is one of my favorite topics because I love to be a disruptor and I love to get people's attention when I say, ditch the pitch, the elevator pitch is dead. Who ever thought that you could have one canned speech for anybody and everybody you meet clearly wasn't a communications expert or specialist and didn't know about human nature, because there's 4 different distinct personalities and we can all be a combination of any thereof. I don't know about you, but I do a lot of different things.
Right.
And if I have a canned 30-second elevator pitch about any X, Y, or Z of that, I am totally eliminating 90% of the people I'm talking to. This person may not need a speaker. This person may not need a consultant. This person may not need an antique car show. This person may be into cause marketing. This person may not. In other words, we need to get to know that person and know what it is about them and what service we have that they could use.
But what if somebody says to you, Cami, what do you do?
I love that you asked me that. I'm really wanting to hear about you. Tell me about you. I know that sounds simple.
But then it puts me on the hook to say what I do.
Awesome. That's exactly what I want. Because when look, Everybody wants to talk about themselves. Their husband doesn't listen to them, their kids could care less about them, the boss isn't interested, they just want to talk about themselves. And when you give them the invitation to talk about themselves, they will. And when they do, then I know she's a brand new business person, she's looking for a job, she's a single mother, she's been in the insurance company for 25 years, whatever it is, then I have something I can talk about. Or I could turn around and say, you know what, it really depends on who I'm working with. Tell me something about you that has nothing to do with your work or where you're from.
Yeah.
Actually, do that right now. Tell me something, Heather, about you that has nothing to do with your work or where you're from.
Or where I'm from. Wow. Something to do about me that has nothing to do with where my work or where I'm from.
Right.
I used to be a very impatient driver, but I have relaxed a lot about my driving because I used to go into Boston every morning. Well, not every morning. Well, most mornings when I was at the conservatory at New England Conservatory, and I had 8:30 lessons. To go into Boston to be at an 8:30 lesson makes your blood pressure go up.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And if we were out somewhere at an event, how many different directions could we go with that?
Right.
We could talk for half an hour and lead in any direction. And as a communication expert, I could lead that in many different directions, really. Well, what kind of car do you drive? Like, I don't know. Like, we could just take it in a different direction. But the point is, it's building rapport. Because where's the camera? Where's the camera?
Whatever light is on.
I want them to get this. This is so important.
Yeah.
There's a big difference when you walk up to somebody, what do you do?
Yeah.
So what do you do? Which is really what you're hearing, because they've said it 1,000 times, they hear it said to them, they really don't care. But when you build the rapport, and 5 minutes later they say, so what do you do anyway? That's where the yumminess is. That's the question, because now she cares what you do.
So what was the question? The one question, because I want to give them some tangibles. You asked the question, what's something that you do that doesn't have any? What do you
tell me something about you?
Yeah.
And this is in the book too.
Yeah.
Tell me something about you that has nothing to do with where you're from or what you do. And I wanted to do that with you because notice how you were like, oh, well, and you had to think about it.
Yeah.
See, it happens like that every time.
Yeah.
When somebody says, what do you do? We give, well, I've got a TV show and I brand people and I help people market and get on stage, you know. And of course we might say a little bit more exciting than that, but if you're a real estate agent or an insurance person or a bakery owner or car sales or whatever, that's what you do. So when we can ask them something that gets them out of the norm and snaps them back into attention, name of the book, Art and Science of Building Business Relationships and Mastering Referrals. The science in this is when you had to think about it, that brought you in and you start talking about something that's really passionate for you. You get a little bit of dopamine rush, you get a little bit of serotonin going on, you start to feel good as opposed to, well, I've been in insurance for 25 years and I sure do like to work with people who are getting ready to retire. Nobody, they don't want to talk about that.
Well, I think it's really interesting too because like you said, we do many things in our businesses and it is a challenge as a brand strategist to help people understand how to bring all those things together in a way that's a really powerful message. But I think it does put people on alert because they're like, what is the right thing to say to this person? Like you said, you're guessing. Do they want to be a speaker? Are they trying to create a signature product or program? Do they need help with their image? Like you wouldn't know that unless you had the dialogue.
Yeah, so we don't want to guess.
Right.
And what we want to do is we simply want to use our muscle. We want to be creative. We want to just notice and be aware. Stop yourself from saying, what do you do? And I call it Pavlov's dog, you know, ding, 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 the bell rings, the dog salivates. So you walk into the event, ding, 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 the salvation is, what do you do? Or on the flip side, ding, 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 what do you do? Salvation is, I do this. Because we're conditioned. So my invitation is to stop salivating when the bell rings. Don't be the dog. Exercise your muscle of, oh, okay, I'm aware, I'm present, I'm in the moment, I'm in my body. How can I be different? How can I stand out? How can I create a relationship with this person by asking them questions that they're not used to hearing and just being masterful and meaningful in my conversation. And so it's not about a specific thing to say, and they're in the book, and anybody that I work with, I can help them on certain things, things that might make them feel comfortable. But the bottom line is, don't be the dog. Just be conscious and create conversation. You might walk up to somebody and say, girl, I love that necklace, as opposed to, hey, what do you do? Girl, I love that necklace. I was going to name the book, Girl, I Love Those Shoes, because it's a great way to build rapport with another woman, right?
Right.
And so as soon as you get, hey, guy, your smile is outstanding. Hey, your energy is, I could feel it across the room.
Right.
If you walk up to somebody and immediately give them a compliment, oh, this old thing, my mother left it to me, or my husband gave it to me, or I bought it for myself for a birthday present. And before you know it, you're chatting for 15 minutes and you're not even talking about what you do.
Right.
And then when you do get around to what you do, you've had just enough information between the two of you that you can hone in and tailor it and customize it to what that person needs to hear, wants to hear, and it may not even be about business. I do a lot of stuff.
Right. You never know what kind of resource you're going to, or how you could be of service to someone else either.
And I also want to bring up in this topic, and as a nice leeway into the cause marketing.
Yeah, right.
Cause marketing, taking a cause or a purpose or an organization that you're passionate about, and partnering and pairing it with your profession and your profit.
Yeah, I know you're really excited about that, and you've done a lot of work with like brick and mortars and other organizations to help them understand how to use cause marketing to increase their revenue and build relationships in their community. So.
Well, and this is to your point of how do you start a conversation, how do you stop saying what do you do, or how do you answer that, etc.
Yeah.
For example, when I was in real estate, I would go to an event and I was promoting the antique car show I was doing. The proceeds went to the Live and Let Live farm, which was a horse rescue in New Hampshire. So if somebody were to say, what do you do? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I'm sponsoring a car show. Proceeds go to the Live and Let Live farm. I'm looking for antique cars. I'm looking for people who like them. I'm looking for people who know about the Live and Let Live farm and want to support it, have a great day out in the sun looking at some beautiful cars, maybe vendors for a table, right? Not about real estate, not about the Cami Baker show. It was about something else outside of myself. It was a cause. So it gave people something yummy to talk. Oh, I love antique cars. Oh, I love the Live and Let Live farm. Our church volunteers there every month.
Right.
My neighbor's got 18 cars in a barn. I'll tell them about it. My dad's got cars, etc. So after we chatted, then if it came up, it'd be, so besides the car show, what do you do? Now they care.
Right.
So one of the reasons that I talk to my business owners, strategic, entrepreneurial mindset people is when you want to be able to talk to your past clients, your current clients, your future clients in a totally different way, what are you passionate about? What is the cause that you could get behind and support, so that when you're talking to people, instead of doing your boring 30-second elevator pitch, or instead of saying, hey, what do you do, or answering with, well, I'm a real estate agent or whatever, now it's something fun and exciting. And when I would call people and say, hey, the car show's coming up, who do you know that's got cars? Do you know anybody that maybe a Mary Kay or some kind of restaurant in the area that would like to have a booth or something, support the cause and get seen in the marketplace? That was way different than, time to look at the market. Who do you know that wants to buy or sell? Nobody wants to make that call or receive it.
Right.
But when I would call about the car show, within a few minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes, maybe not always, so Cami, how's the market? Right? So, Heather, what's going on in the branding world? Like, what kind of tips can you give me? But they're going to do it because you put your foot in the door in a different way.
Right, and I like it too, because I think that businesses do want to be serving. They do want to have causes. They do want to have that. It's like you've said, we chatted before, it's a win-win. It's not just how you get more clients in the door. It gives you an opportunity to have that presence in your community and be seen and feel that feeling of giving back.
It's such a win-win-win. So what I just talked about was basically a way to prospect because of the cause. But there's so many other aspects of it. There is giving back to the cause and feeling good. There is a level of being able to recruit, and whether it's recruiting new salespeople or recruiting in a network marketing team or bringing in new board members or whatever, when you've got something like that to talk about that you're passionate about, there's a way of creating community culture in your company. That's one of the things I'm doing with the brick and mortar business right now. They got a few salespeople in the store. They got a couple that are outside the store. We're going to talk about some different ways that we can strategize so that we're all moving towards the same ultimate goal of serving whatever cause that is. So it's about a different way of reaching out to prospects. It's about a different way of being seen. Great example, 1990 Star-Kissed tuna. On their can said dolphin safe. 5 cents more per can. People were willing to pay more because they were involved in a cause that people were passionate about, and they were smart enough to market it. Cause marketing. You want to work with the cause but not market, you're a volunteer.
Right.
Cause marketing is putting the two together and knowing that people would rather pay 5 cents more for your can of tuna than somebody else's, because you're doing something good in the world.
Yeah, and I'm really glad you said that. I was going to bring that up, that's one of your specialties, is helping companies strategize their charitable giving, because it's one thing to be a community contributor, but it's also to be strategic about it, so that it doesn't just have to be, I'm giving the community, building community relationships, and it doesn't mean that you're not a great company with a big heart if you're leveraging that as well.
Well, let me also share, sometimes people will say, well, I want to be anonymous. Like, I don't want to toot my own horn, that I'm helping with this group or whatnot. Example, I'm out in Washington State back in November, and we were doing a coat drive. Well, it would be one thing to just bring our coats to the homeless. It's another thing to say, hey, community, here's what we're doing. The more coats, the more blankets, the more gloves, the better for everyone. So it's not about, look at me, I'm bringing coats, I'm a great Samaritan. No, it's about, hey, I'm offering to you to give you the opportunity to be a contribution with us.
Right, to build that moment, the movement, to build the movement. People want to be a part of a movement.
People want to be a part of a movement, and it's okay that when you're creating a part of a movement and what you're doing benefits so many people. So we show up at this homeless shelter. There's a couple of photos on my Facebook, and I'm actually putting them in a presentation. We get there with the name of the company on the side of the truck full of blankets and coats. Other people from our community showed up with the trunk load full of stuff.
Wow.
We pull up, there was probably 50 homeless folks and people in need that just were so grateful, to the point that within 5 minutes of us being there, we had big boxes that were 4 feet high. One person emptied the box out, laid the box on the ground, and crawled inside the box.
Whoa. Wow.
And I've got a picture of that blessed woman with her feet hanging outside of the box, because she just wanted a place to crawl into that was warm, that was safe, and that was quiet. She did it right there. And it was like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
People need what we're doing.
Right.
And when we don't share that, if we hadn't shared it with all those other people who brought more blankets and clothing, then that many more people wouldn't have been served. But then to have that moment and to be able to capture that and to share, look, this is how much, I got goosebumps, this is how much this is needed. So it's not, hey, look what I'm doing, I'm the Great Samaritan. It's, hey, let's get together and do something about this.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
And use it as a way to market your business. There's no shame in that game.
Right.
There's no shame in letting people know that your business is giving back.
Right, especially if you are giving back.
Yeah.
And you're showing up as a leader, as somebody who gives back.
And you're being the event everywhere you go.
That's right. You're being the event, and you're creating events, which is also something to have people to look forward to. You are the event, but you're also creating, like, the drive or the fundraiser or the whatever, the dance that raises money or whatever it is.
Well, and I've done this so many times, and I was doing it before, honestly, sheerly out of ego, to build my business and to make money and be seen. But over the years, as I've matured and softened and started hanging out with more visionary, heart-centered thought leaders, now it's from a place of contribution. And so, this particular event with the homeless folks, we also reached out to the community. Hey, who would like to donate donuts and coffee? We're building relationship with the other businesses. When I used to do this as a real estate agent, I did something with the Remax hot air balloon, and I brought it to the Boys and Girls Club. And so when I brought it to the Boys and Girls Club, I had other title companies and home inspectors, et cetera, donating things and doing face painting. And over the next 10, 15 years, It was about relationships. I didn't meet these people until I asked them if they wanted to participate, and once they did, we were friends too.
Wow, that's
right?
amazing. Well, you are such a rock star at what you do. If people want to know more about you and how to, if there's a brick and mortar out there that's like, I really want that. I don't know how to get started. I don't know how to leverage it. How can they find you? How can they find out more about what you're doing?
Well, CamiBaker.com, you'll see the spelling here. I'll actually give you a free PDF of my book. Anyone who wants to get a copy of the book, just reach out, send me an email, send me a text, send me a Facebook, send me a LinkedIn, send a carrier pigeon or a smoke signal, because guys, you gotta make it fun.
Yeah.
You gotta make it fun. I'm real, I'm raw, I'm relatable, and I'm reachable, so that we have the resources, relationships, and revenue that rock.
Oh my God. You need to be a rapper. You need to be a rapper.
I don't know about a rapper, but I do. And I'll help you with the alliterations too.
Yeah.
If you want them for your business. I talk about, we want to set the intention so that we pay attention and create the retention.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I can see why you're such an in-demand speaker. I want to ask you one question about that before we close out, because I know a lot of people watching this want to know, how did you get in front of 30,000 people? How did you get on Celebrity Apprentice? How did you get those opportunities to be visible on bigger platforms? You know
what? This is the easiest thing, and it's free, and they can do it right now. Grab your opportunities when they come to you. Easy things. Today, come into the TV studio. Did a Facebook Live outside with your logo in the background, took some photos with you, posting them online. In other words, be conscious of what's going on around you and grab those opportunities. HGTV, there was an email that went out to 10,000 realtors. I applied, I took action, I sent in my video, I got the gig.
Right.
Because I noticed the opportunity around me, and I didn't just notice it, I took action.
I love that. I was just talking to somebody the other day, and I said, oh, I could totally see you, on this stage and this stage. And they were like, yeah, I know. I'm like, do it.
And they'll make excuses, and they'll say, oh, I think that in their heart of hearts, they feel like they don't have something to offer, or they'll do it when they have a book. Everybody's waiting to have their book. Everybody's waiting to put together their PDFs and their program. Sell it, then create it. Sell it, then create it. You and I got on the phone. I have no idea what we're going to talk about today. It's not scripted. I don't know. Sell it and then create it.
Right.
We talked about it, now we're doing it.
Yeah.
So taking action, and I think that being pragmatic is a problem for a lot of people. They get hung up in the analysis paralysis. When I'm ready, have, do, be. They're waiting to have the book, to have the notoriety, have something to do something, and then they'll be successful and happy. And I got a whole chapter in my book about you want to be. Be that which you say you want. Just be it. Like, suit up and be that. Because when you be that, then you're naturally going to do that which that person would do, and you're ultimately going to have that which that person would have. But you're not going to have it unless you do it. You're not going to do it unless you be it first.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I think I heard it was Grant Cardone. He said, if you sell a $10,000 coaching package and you're not ready when you sell it, you are going to be ready by the time you get on the phone with that person.
Yeah.
So you sell it and then you create it.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this has been so much fun having you. I can see why you're booked all over the place, why people are hiring you, why you're getting on television and going on stages. You're so dynamic, so beautiful, have such a powerful, strategic, fun message. I love it. I love the idea of Mingle to Millions. I really want to thank you for taking your time to come and taking action and being here on the show with us. So
thank you.
Yeah,
thank you for providing what you do to the community. I can't wait to share you with all my friends.
Thank you. And one last question, Cami, what does it mean to you to thrive?
To thrive means to not just survive, it means to be alive. It means to really be in the moment, be in action, be present. Be present, polished, powerful, packaged, presented in a postured way.
Right on, girl. I like that. Awesome. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much for being here. I loved having you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And thank you to all of you for joining us as well. And until next time, as always, here's to hitting all your high notes. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, it's it's Heather again. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Thrive. Every week we try to bring you people and information to help you change your life for the better, to grow your business, to expand your thinking, and to open your heart. If you did enjoy this content, I would so appreciate it if you would go to iTunes and review us. Let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your feedback. And if you found this information helpful or useful in any way, please share it on out. Let your friends and family know about Thrive. And finally, if you'd like to know more about me, you can visit me at heatherpoduska.com. Until next time, here's to hitting all your high notes.